Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's like all his partners sound like.
Hello, everyone. We're here for another Spotlight On. I am Ashley Daniels with one of the most notable casting directors in Hollywood and her beautiful daughter. We'll get into details as to what it is, but I wrote a little thing, so I wanted to say it. So one of the most notable TV, film, and commercial casting directors. She's recently been named the head of casting for the prestigious Inkwell Theater. She's also a well-respected acting coach. She takes pride in discovering new talent at the you do a master workshop. And your beautiful daughter, Gigi, who grew up in the industry, saw everything firsthand.
Yes.
Gigi and Lisa.
Hello.
Welcome. And I'm here with my beautiful Roxy Striar.
Beautiful, both of you.
We're so happy to have you guys here,
Thank you.
and I can't believe in your busy schedule that you guys could take the time out to come talk to us. It's really special.
If I keep looking at my watch.
We're so happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we are.
I mean, really,
Thanks for
thank you
inviting
so
us.
much. It's funny, the reason I found you is because I don't really audition or anything. I did when I first moved out here, but maybe for like 5 minutes, and it was not like at your level of going into those types of offices. But I still am, I still get the LA casting thing once in a while, and it's always Lisa Pantone. Lisa Pantone. So one day I said to myself, I am going to get this girl is crazy. She is literally casting every single thing that's worth casting right now.
Yeah. We work a lot.
Thank you. Well, she's Italian. I want her in here right now. And I mean, I was lucky enough to even get a response, so it was so cool. So I'm just excited to have you guys here.
And we're happy to be here.
Yeah.
We decided to start doing these with casting directors because we always are talking to different actors and actresses, and the one thing that they all are saying is they think they walk into an audition room and it's like a crapshoot, and they don't really know what the real things people are looking for is, which we know is wrong. It's not a crapshoot. There is an art, there's a science.
Absolutely.
And you guys are the keepers of the key right now. So.
Absolutely. People get that idea because they really don't know what goes on behind the scenes when we talk to our directors, the writers, to get establish what the story is about.
Right.
That's what I coach people. That's the way we handle our business. It's just not a, what do you call it, G? You bring just a lot of people.
We're not willy-nilly.
Cattle call.
Yeah, we never.
And it's also, I always feel like actors always like casting directors are mean. I never know what they're thinking. Like,
Yes, of course.
So there's a method to that, and the casting directors aren't mean. It's really hard to keep up with 75 people a day, and you're trying to tell them what to do, and they're wanting to know where the bathroom is, and you're saying, okay, say the line like this, and they're totally not listening to you. I mean, it's it gets difficult, and then there's people that you're like, why does that person book everything? Why do I see them in everything? Because they listen, and it really is. They show up on time. They listen to
and
the
they
directions,
understand that it's a business. It's called show business.
It's still really fun. Like being an actor is an awesome, fun job, but you still have to work at it. And I think that since it is so fun, everyone's so attractive, and going on castings is cool, and you're sitting in a waiting room with all your counterparts, that you forget that it's an actual business.
It is a business. I make sure that actors and actresses know that it's called show business, but the most important word to the people that hire us, directors, producers, writers, is the word business.
Yeah.
It has to be handled as a business. If you don't take it serious, then no matter how much effort I put into getting the story out of you correctly, it's just not going to work because you're not thinking of it in the right terms.
And going on that, it's so interesting that you say that, because that's the first thing I learned when I came out here was the business side of everything. I didn't know really what I was going to do, but I knew that it was a business. And I interned at one of your clients, Arnold Worldwide, the one in Boston.
Sure.
I saw how the casting directors worked so closely with the advertising agency, and how they kept going back to the 2 or 3 people that they trusted. And when I had started auditioning very little bit at the very beginning, I saw so many people that were on time that did do the right thing, but they weren't getting booked. So it's very interesting to see, because at the end of the day, is it more luck, or is it more the look of the?
We'll probably have two different answers.
It's just so interesting.
I don't think that it's luck, but I mean it's part luck. But I really do believe that I've been doing this for many, many, many years, and
many times, like that.
I absorb when the director, the writers hire me. I absorb what they send me as a whole story, whether it's a 15-second commercial, music video, film. You know, I do a lot of indie films. I'm proud. I win a lot of awards with my indie films.
Congratulations!
Right.
Thank
Amazing.
you. But it's all a story, because there's always, as you know, you worked at Arnold, there's always a writer and creative involved. They write words that make sense and then become sentences, and those sentences become stories. Now, whether the commercial or whatever, especially commercials, whether they have words or not, someone still wrote a beginning, a middle, and an end. If, in fact, you don't look at the business that way and just memorize words, and Gigi hears me say this all the time, we don't hire memorizers, we hire storytellers. Because the story's written, they hire us to find the right storytellers.
Right.
And when you look at it that way, it puts a different meaning to your castings that you go on.
So even if you are doing the work and you're reading your lines the night before and you're memorizing, this doesn't mean you're a good actor. My answer is really different, and I knew they'd be different because we're very different people.
I
even
love
though we're
that, though.
mother and daughter,
Yeah.
which is why we work well together. But my answer is, especially for a commercial, it's for the masses, right? So, you know, we're always interpreting, like, you know, the director or the ad agency will say, we want an attractive brunette between 24 and 30. Well, what the freak does that mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is it like the girl? So, you know, I try to do a girl next door, you know, like a fair brunette. I try to do an Italian or
Yes.
Greek. I try to do someone ethnically ambiguous, which is
Yes.
like very buzzy right now. But
Right.
it's still to the masses. So if it's Target, I'm still trying to appeal, and the ad agency and the director are still, and Target, the client, are still trying to pick a person that appeals to a really broad base.
yeah.
So even if you're doing all the work and stuff, if your look, you know, there are people that look is in right now.
Yes.
And so
What does that mean? Their look is in, like it's trendy.
yeah,
or-
like there are like right now, if you look at almost any commercial, right, the guys are kind of hipster goofy, right?
Yes.
In every single commercial, hipster goofy guy. Attractive girls are never out of style. We'll just
No.
do it. Attractive women are
Lucky
never
for you, honey.
are never out of style.
And for you. And for
Oh
you.
my God.
But so if you're this hot blonde guy and you're reading for all these commercials and you're like, hey, why is this kind of, you know, hipster frumpy guy always booking them? Because that looks in right now, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just what's in.
Well, the look has to be right. The age has to be right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything has to be visually right.
We're trying to. There's, like my mom said, there's somebody, or I call we're working together, I call her LP because it's so weird to call her mom at work.
I love
So
it.
I'll call her LP, and that's, you know who I'm talking about. So LP, like she said, though, you know, somebody wrote a story. So we're trying to a guy at an ad agency or a writer of a movie wrote this character with this person in mind who
Yes.
he's never met,
Yes.
might not exist, and so we have to look at all these actors' headshots and hope and do our due diligence that his visual of what he thought the storyteller would be, we can get.
That's right.
Now, just to clarify, you do a ton of celebrity, like A-list celebrity commercials where you're casting.
We
Those
do
are
that.
completely
We-
different, correct?
Well,
They
yes.
already have an idea as to it's Will
They have
Ferrell
an
or it's
idea who
whoever it
they
is.
want. They then contact us. We'll call, you know, WME, or we'll
Yeah.
call CAA, and
I
we'll say,
assume,
this
yeah.
is what the project is. This is the amount of money that they're willing to, you know, pay.
Okay.
Who do you have? that-
And so the
who do you have
first
in
choice
that?
might not, they might really want Nick Cage, and Nick Cage looks at the offer and is like, nah.
Interesting. So it's not so much an audition process like you
never.
would do, because they just.
It's a negotiation
it's
at
a
that
negotiation.
point.
Yeah,
Right,
there
yeah.
have
It's
been
are they doing
times
it or
that
are they
I've-
not?
Exactly, but
Got
there
it.
have been times where we bring in stars.
Okay.
They'll say, give
Sure.
us a list. Like, you know, it's for Audi, it's for India. We want a huge action hero that everyone is instantly recognizable. Please give us a list of 15
Right.
names. So then we're like, Jason Statham, you know. So then we go and we put our list together. We send it back to Audi. They approve it, and they'll say, okay, first go after Jason Statham, second go after Bruce Willis, third go after this for the money. So,
is so
we still have to cast that.
Right. I want to ask you a question going back for a second, talking about what the trendy looks are
Yeah.
at the time. Do you suggest to actors that are trying to book commercials or trying to book roles with you guys to look out and see what is frequently being cast and then try to play towards that, like wearing a beanie or
Yes, and also, I mean, it gets expensive, but since you don't have to print headshots anymore, it's much less expensive.
Yes.
Wait, what do you mean you have to print headshots?
because it's all digital.
It's all digital.
But you're saying
I still
now,
ask for them.
So,
now.
so even when you go into an audition, it wouldn't be strange to come in without a headshot now.
No, it's not that weird.
Wow.
And so, but what they do is so for every actor that's listening, first and foremost, get yourself on LA Casting.
Right.
Yeah.
LA Casting has all the headshots.
Or breakdown
services.
Actors Access.
And Actors Access. But so with that, you can take many different pictures. So why not put yourself in a flannel shirt, not shaved? Or if you're really a pretty girl, kind of put your cool hipster glasses on and not frump it up. That's a horrible word, but you know what I mean.
Put on your hoodie or your hair.
So you can, and then if you're going out for hot roles, so why don't you? There are actors that do this, and it makes so much sense since you can put multiple pictures. When you're self-submitting or your agent submitting, have yourself in a hot body bikini shot, have yourself in your beanie and glasses, have yourself doing this and that. So then when you read the breakdown and it says, looking for a guy next door for Burger King, you're like, great, flannel shirt, glasses, picture, submit.
And you're not in your suit and submitting that.
Yeah, and you're not doing your GQ face. That's not guy next door. You know what I mean?
The ducky face.
Yeah, so you don't have to really change who you are. Just have the shots, because that's what we go off of. We look at the shot, and then we look at the resume. If your resume is on point and your shot looks like a guy next door, obviously you're going to get selected.
What I've noticed is in the last couple of months, how the beard look it was in. Now all of a sudden, when I'm on it and I'm casting something, it's like every picture has a guy with the beard
They
on.
don't
I'm
even
like,
stand out
okay,
anymore. Yeah, right. But it's interesting going back to LA Casting though, because now you're utilizing that sometimes, right? Not all the time.
No, 50%.
People are, so it's expensive. I'm sure, as you know, the headshots, it's like $25 a headshot to put headshot on LA Casting, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So you got to be pretty selective. And if you want to change the photo, you got to do it and then pay another $25. It's something crazy like that. I haven't seen it.
And then you have to pay for the agent to put it on, or they will pay for whatever it is. There's a lot of cost.
So for somebody who doesn't have an agent, how often do you look at those self-submissions?
I do.
Because you're high up.
I absolutely
this is something
do.
that I think blows people's mind. But when an LA Casting, I think it'll blow your mind. An LA Casting, the way it's ordered is not by agent; it's alphabetically. So
I'm lucky then.
So people would always be like, "Well, my agent's not getting me out enough," and I'm like, "Then it's definitely just your pictures." Because
Interesting.
I don't. We don't. I know people probably do, other casting directors, but I'm speaking for us, and obviously we have colleagues that we see all around, all the time and all around, but. It's in alphabetical order, so it has a lot less to do with your agent. I'm just looking at the picture, and if I think you look like that part, and I click on your picture, I look at your resume, and it's good. There's no reason, So if it's self-submit, it doesn't ring a bell. I don't have flashes in my mind.
Because there's a lot of actors and
Actors
actresses.
Access, she puts everything out on Actors Access as well as LA Casting.
My indie films, my TV work,
I do see your name a
and
lot
theater.
in the emails.
But to us, to me personally, there are a lot of actors that are between agents.
Yeah, it happens
So
all
you might be the one that is perfect for this film or this commercial that we're doing, and I can't find you anywhere. So I think that direct cast on LA Casting, they have the other one, Casting Network, whatever the other one's
Casting
called.
Networks,
People's Network. Isn't there another one
there's
now?
another one called the People's
Casting
Network.
Frontier.
Casting
Because,
Frontier. I don't go on all those. I have not.
Also, a lot of working TV actors and actresses, they'll look at it and maybe they've gone core, and we might be doing a non-union job, and they've gone SAG core, which means they're still technically a SAG member. They're not paying their dues. They book another SAG job. They will pay their dues, but in the interim, they can do non-union. Right. So they'll submit themselves, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this person's great. I can't even believe they're non-union. I'm like, oh, they're core. So we definitely want to see people who submit themselves.
When
it's
you're
not a red flag.
resume, you say you looked at the resumes.
I look at resumes.
Now, say someone doesn't have any commercial, or they just don't put any commercial credits on there. Do you just immediately say
I look
no?
at training. I'm very big at looking at who you've worked for. I go directly to the directors and see who they've worked for.
If you've done a TV show or something.
Or I definitely look at training, definitely look at theater. I definitely look at colleges that you might have, attended and all that. That's, to me, less commercial and more film, TV, and theater.
What about people's reels? Are you looking at those, or you don't really care for?
Sometimes we just did a job with this girl, and they kept saying she's too modelly, she's too modelly, and we're like, no, she's actually an actress who just happens to be really pretty. So we looked at her reel, and it was all kinds of really meaty acting roles, and we sent it right along to them. We're like, see, we told you she's not a model, and like, so we did look at her reel just to make sure she did have the chops, and she did.
I don't really have
it's a
time.
really hard. I was literally just going to say that.
LP is
out. But you said not so much film and TV, so meaning commercials, you do look at the resume credits more, or
just
no?
the opposite. Just the opposite. I will look at. It'll take me 1 second because on the services you hit on the headshot and the resume comes up. For commercial, I'm more interested. Again, I go right to who they studied with or theater that they've done. I love theater actors. But definitely, you can ask Gigi. Film, theater, TV. I definitely have to check that.
Yeah,
resume.
she's asking if you looked on. If we look on commercials, my biggest thing is like if it's a SAG job, I want to make sure you've been on a set before because I have gotten calls that they're telling people like come up stage right, and the person's never heard that.
Right.
And so I just want to make sure you've been on a set.
You've been on a set, any set.
Because I mean, these commercial productions are millions of dollars.
You know what goes on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And I definitely do that. Like
experience.
we do a lot of Disney stuff, and I do that with the kids too.
With the kids,
I will
for
put
sure.
out if they're looking for new kids and just kids with great personalities and great looks and that. But if they're looking, if they have dialogue in the commercial and or scenes to do, I definitely will put out. Please submit children that have been on the set. No, that doesn't mean that they've been the principal. They could have been an extra on the set.
Yeah, just so they're used to the
especially
flow.
with children. So exactly.
So that's interesting because most people discourage people to put any extra work on their resume. However, it could actually help you if you wrote in the little special skills section. Has been on many sets. Did extra work for a year mainly to understand how the set is. It could
to
maybe
know how the
amateur,
set runs.
maybe
It's
make
the
you
truth.
look more amateur. But if you wrote it in a certain way, someone like
wording wise, wording wise, back on the was the. Stand-in for so-and-so for 2 years on this show. Or
you've been on a set,
Because if you've never been on a set, I'll ask people, and they'll say, oh, no. And I go, well, do you think there's only 2 or 3 people on the set, you and the director? If it's a closed set, absolutely. It's just you, the director.
Even in castings, people don't really know all the verbiage, and that hurts them a lot. So I would say, like, one of the easiest things, especially for new actors, is just be really familiar with the verbiage in a casting, meaning when someone's like, okay, slate, know what slate means. It means your name. You don't have to say your agent unless they ask you first. If they say,
I don't even do profiles anymore.
I do profiles.
I don't.
Interesting.
But so know what a profile is. We've had people who, when we say, okay, do your profile.
You too is so fun.
And they don't know which way to turn.
They start telling me their life story, thinking I mean like a profile of their life, not right and left.
Yeah.
So it's like super easy stuff like that. It's like know what a slate is, know what a profile is, know where to sign in.
Do you guys have anywhere, so for this terminology or for being on a set, is there any book or any resources that you guys suggest to actors?
Oh gosh, there's so many books.
I was going to say, there's so many books.
Or
and
websites.
Go to Samuel French. There's the bookstore. There is just stand in there for like an hour and thumb through the books. You don't even have to buy them. Google it. Like, you know what I mean? Actors auditions. Like, they'll have it. Somebody has made a YouTube video.
When I'm private coaching someone, I can tell right away.
If they've ever,
You can ask Gigi. Or if I'm casting, a film or whatever, I don't even have to look at the resume. This is sad. I don't even have to look at the resume. I can tell, okay, you studied with so-and-so. Here we go. Here we go. Without mentioning any names. You know why? And that's why I don't ever say, I'm going to teach you how to act. No one can teach you how to act. Acting has to come from within. Acting is the ability to react to the story and the people within the story. I am blessed that I have been private coaching and do semi for years.
Can you tell people how they can hire you as well, just to make sure that they know?
Well, I usually just say that you can email me.
Oh, okay.
They email to set up. But I tend to, because I've worked so long casting and with directors and producers, I know what they want. Yeah. They're not looking for memorization. When they say, listen, so what did you think about that? People will call and say, okay, I'm ready, Lise. I know, my lines. And I'm like, here's me. Call me back when you know my lines and every other person in the story. How can an actor, and people teach that. So I kind of try to not go into
really-
political
that's
situations
amazing.
because there's so many people out there calling themselves teachers and coaches.
Would you take a driving test from someone who failed it multiple times? Like a lot of listen, excuse my language, but I'm talking smack right now.
That's
but
okay.
fine.
Please
Yes,
do.
but if you were an acting teacher, wanted to be an actor but never made it, I would probably not take classes
That's
from that
the majority
person.
of the acting coaches
Yeah, well,
out here.
then they should probably
Yeah,
probably
no,
should
I
take
agree.
it.
Well, see, and I try to be politically correct.
I'm not.
But,
well.
But,
No,
I'm from LA.
Honey,
I've
trust
seen
me,
it all. Yeah. I mean,
it's
I've
a
seen it
waste
all.
of money. It's sad. They
and
take
it's
advantage
sad
of.
to me that you're teaching maybe a class of 30 or class of however many, even if it's 20, and you're saying this is the exact way that you need to learn how to act. And I'm like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
then 30 of you come in for an audition, you're all doing the same, you know what.
Yeah.
It's just not, are we allowed to swear? I do swear. So. I am Italian, I do swear. So I could've-
You got the Italians over here.
yeah, exactly.
We
Love
do
that.
as well.
But to me, it's no difference whether I'm casting and conducting a casting for whatever the project is that we're hired for, or coaching someone. Please allow me to absorb the story. Me as the casting director, her as the casting director, we need to absorb exactly what the directors and writers and producers are asking for. Why wouldn't we pass that information on to the actor who's coming into
If you book
audition?
it and they love you, it makes us look good. So that's when people are saying casting directors are mean. No, we really want you to book this. It makes us look great. When our director's like, where did you find this girl? I'm in love with her. She's the best. And I'm like, yay, we did such a good job,
Yeah, absolutely.
We want you to work.
And when we went, we do a lot of the films that we work on win various awards, and I'm just so blessed that I just love that end of it. But we did a film called Catching Fireflies. It's now won 7 awards, including London.
Oh, my
Rome.
gosh.
And I just got a note from Lee Whitaker, the director, saying that the little 8-year-old girl that stars in it won Best Actress
Oh
in
my
London.
gosh.
She beat
And
out
you cast her?
every
Yeah.
You guys cast
That's
her?
amazing.
We've had films that won in Cannes.
That must make you guys so proud.
Yeah.
That's
my
That's
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's oh my gosh.
I know. I wanted to ask you guys about, though, the fact that you are working as mother and daughter, because I'm
So interesting.
Yeah, it is so
People-
interesting,
yes.
and you guys have vastly different opinions as we've seen today.
Hilarious. I'm like totally want to see you guys in a reality show.
So it's really funny. Everyone says that. It's really funny. I'll
When
tell
my
you quick stories.
Botox gets better, we'll talk about it.
See,
I can't
seriously.
even right
So we have cameramen and assistants, and they, so she'll be in one studio, I'll be in another, and they'll fight over who wants to be with. They're like, wait, who are you? Are you a cameraman for Lisa today or Gigi? Do you want to switch? Like, just depending on the day.
Oh my
Because we
God.
are really different. I am all aesthetics. Like, I find like models. I know every reference, you know what I mean? I'm on Pinterest, I'm on BuzzFeed, I know everybody, I watch every reality show. So if a director's like, I want somebody that's this crossed with this, got it, done.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like a little encyclopedia of references. She's the acting. Like if you
That's
want
like you're an
the
encyclopedia.
acting chops, if you want, like we did like a Weinstein Company movie, if you want actors for a Weinstein Company movie, you go to my mom. But that being said, we're so different that sometimes when we have to be together in the same room for like a callback, like people just sit back and laugh because we're like,
Gigi will go like this. We'll
bicker.
both start, and then she'll say to the actor, "Can you step outside for a second?"
and then we have like a little, and then they come back in.
That's
You get the
amazing.
best of both
That's
worlds,
amazing.
then. So the person that you guys finally choose probably is a happy medium between
Yes.
those two
That's
things.
hilarious.
That's what we do, and that's when we
balance.
prep our jobs when we look through the LA castings and whatnot. Like what I'll do is there's thousands that come in. I'll go through thousands and pare it down for her to about 100, and then I'll be like, okay. Don't take out my number ones. These are the people that I know are bookers. These are people whose looks are just about to hit. These are people I'm obsessed with. But you can go and then you know.
My
so
number
then-
2 is okay. You can cut some of it.
because she doesn't have time, quite frankly. Because I don't private coach. She does. She's so busy.
I know how
know?
you do that too. That's
Yeah.
just another.
So I'll just go through and pare all the work down. But working together is interesting experience.
Watch what you say about LP here. I'm sitting right next to you. I am an Italian mom.
Right, and you tell like it is in Italian.
I do.
You know, or maybe not to the person, but at least you know you'll tell Gigi like this is how it is. And the two of you have very strong personalities. I love your dynamic.
Very strong, yes.
So, Rox, did you want to ask something else? Because I want
No, just about their relationship.
Okay.
I think it's amazing. So we had to get it out there. Oh, okay.
Stephen gave me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you.
Oh, good.
Cool.
We thought we were running out. Could we
Good, 'cause
get
we
you
were
guys
like, oh my
for a
God.
little longer?
So get relaxed.
I will say I started because as such a typical mom, it's in the other room, but she brought a picture of me. I started out as a child model, and I used to work a lot. I did all the Bill Cosby commercials and I worked tons, and I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But so it's so funny that I'm in my 30s, and she brought my modeling child's book to work to here today. Like how shady is
I brought one
that?
little picture.
Oh my God.
But
I will say it after.
Yeah, I'm still an adult who works with my mother, and then you guys will really love this part. So I just moved in December, and I moved 3 streets away from her on the same block.
That's how could you move so far?
I'm so
That's crazy. You could
clearly
never.
it's me. I always thought it was her that was
Here's
creepy.
the real
It was me that was
story.
creepy.
Here's the real story.
perfect.
She called and she
beyond.
said, Mom, me and her husband Simon, who
And,
I couldn't be more blessed to have such a great son.
And he knows how to run camera, and sometimes I make him run camera with us when every cameraman.
when he's not busy, he's pretty
So
well known.
he works with his
so,
wife and
yeah.
his mother-in-law, and he doesn't do this as a job. He's a really famous personal trainer. But, I have to beg him to run camera. So people are like, "Wait, that's your husband, and that's your mom." They're like, "What?" And that's what everyone says to me. This is like a reality show.
It
We
really
family
is.
dinner.
It's
Well,
amazing.
we
And then we have
started
family dinners
as
on Sundays.
we started. I started Pantone Casting in Florida, and it was called the Pantone Casting Group. And we brought a picture that we had T-shirts made.
And it was my mom, my aunt Pam, my uncle Albert, and my mom's financial people.
This is a family business.
Yeah.
It
It really
always
is.
has been. Then when we moved out here, it was called Lisa Pantone Casting. My brother James,
A different uncle.
I have 5 brothers and sisters.
Of course you do.
He came out and started working with us, and then when Gigi decided, hey, you know what, Mom, I'll jump into the thing, because it's always been a family.
So I started working in production,
Always.
and I was like, I'm not going to work casting. I can't work with you. This is ridiculous. So I worked at a production company. I
She
hosted
had
a
her own
TV
show, yeah.
And then for some reason, my mom, it was like if she got sick or there's no. Being a cast director, there's no sick day. There's nobody to take over for you.
Right.
And then she did have an assistant that started to think she knew more than my mom, and I was like, I don't really like this. So if anybody's going to be trying to get clients or whatever who knows more than my mom, it's definitely not going to be her. So I was like, fine. It'll be me. So last year or the year before, we decided to just make it a partnership and make it official.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I have to just ask you to tell us a little bit, because you've done, I couldn't even go down this list if I wanted to of the things that you have cast. But with
You
commercials.
guys can find it on their website.
Yes.
though.
Yes.
Yes,
yes.
we've done.
What is it,
But what's-
LisaPantone.com?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Pantone.com.
What are some of your
Oh my
favorite?
gosh.
Can you say some of your favorite
gosh.
commercials that you've cast?
Oh my gosh.
I'll say one that I think is so dope.
I've done
My
so
mom
many.
cast Jaimin Hunsu. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, late 20s, if you love MTV, Jaimin Hunsu, he's a really famous actor. In his first music video, it was Janet Jackson. And it was, he got to be hugely famous. He was this beautiful
Still
male
a
model
sweet
guy,
man.
super sweet guy.
Really?
And she cast him in a Janet Jackson commercial, and then he blew up and was next thing, it was in Amistad,
and
and he
that's
was
the
winning
same with
awards.
so many
Isn't that amazing?
of them.
But Janet
Brad
Jackson, how cool
Pitt
is that?
to
You
Leonardo.
You take these chances on people sometimes, and then you see them get huge. It's so gratifying. I can't imagine.
And it's so weird because
Leonardo.
they're still our friends. Just because they're famous
nice.
now, we've had them in
Jeremy
for years
Renner,
and years.
yeah,
Jeremy Renner is I just saw him, and he's like, hey, and people are like, oh my God, how do you know Jeremy Renner? I'm like,
Because I'm a casting director.
yeah, because I've known him forever. Before he was
Here's what-
Jeremy Renner, he was just a guy that's super cool that came in on casting.
Here's what I do. When I
We're
was
really
dating,
nice,
I was
too.
dating this.
Oh my gosh,
this
talking
man.
about dating.
I love it.
Not me. I was.
it all
I
out.
was. But anyways,
this
we
right
went
now.
to a restaurant, and he would get so upset if people would just come up and say hi and talk. and
everyone's an
whatever.
actor.
Jealous.
Because, well, I don't know. So
Every-
he'd
our
get
waiters are
really.
like, oh my God, hi.
Because they were trying to almost audition for you.
No, I think that
They just get
because I'm
excited.
kind to people and they see me, just like Kevin that I ran into
Right,
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 here.
right.
I
Yeah,
walked
we
in
were
once,
somebody.
so I can't be rude. I've never been a rude person in my life. I do get Italian on you though.
You're very warm, but yeah, you definitely have that side. I love that.
But so he would say, I can't believe we can't even go to. So when people say, oh my God, Lisa Pantone, I go, where? Is she here?
Wait, which
That's
side?
just a-
Where is
yeah,
she?
just a little
I love
And
that.
it's kind of funny because everyone is like, you know, a lot of people are actors and they'll see us at work and we have them in, and then, you know, then you run into them at Trader Joe's or like on my husband's flag football team, like one of the guys is an actor and he'll always be like, how come you haven't had me in a while? I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to watch the flag football game. Like, is this like not the time right now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What
my
do you
God.
suggest for people who
That's
see
so
you?
funny.
Do you think that they should like duck and hide?
Listen,
No, we're not that way. We're very
I'm like the Queen of
friendly.
Sheba. It's just like,
Yeah.
don't peer pressure me as to like, then I have to think of like, well, was the job we had last
Yeah,
week
no,
SAG
that's-
or was it this? You know,
Listen,
like, I don't
one
know.
time we were at a place, my father, God rest his soul, was visiting, and he wanted to go to an Italian restaurant, and our office used to be on Hillhurst, right by
In Las Vegas.
ABC.
Oh, yeah.
And the only one that I could think of real quick to feed my whole family that were visiting was Louisa's. Okay. So my
Louisa's Trattoria, which is, like, not an Italian
So we're
restaurant.
I know
walking-
exactly what it is.
Yeah,
I've been
so,
there.
I know. So we're walking up, and my father
horrible.
is like, and I'm like, Dad, are you getting sick? He says, hey. Before we even go in, I don't smell any garlic. Do you guys smell any garlic? I don't smell garlic. And I said,
100%.
Isn't that amazing?
You're
Yeah.
digressing so bad right now. It's like
No,
down
it's
a rabbit
good. It's
hole.
good.
I was like-
your personality is hilarious.
I was like,
You
oh
can't
my
do-
gosh. So we go in, and there was about 7 or 8 of us sitting, and I was kind of over there. And the waiter that wasn't our waiter came over and leaned over my dad, my gentleman friend at the time, talking to me. Hey, Lisa, you know that film you were on? And my dad just so nicely let it go on for a while, and then my dad just put his hand on his stomach and said, are you bringing the drinks? Are you
Basta.
or waiter? And he said, no, but I love your daughter and whatever. My dad says, hey, when we eat, we don't talk.
Yeah.
Can you get our waiter?
But you
Other
know what?
than
'Cause
that,
it's
I'm
good that
always
you
nice.
can't, because you
Yeah.
can't do it. You can't really.
I never would.
It's also
you're
really
just-
funny, like, everyone wants to be an actor, so even if it's people we don't run into, like, I was
Lord.
getting my tonsils out, and the anesthesiologist was like, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a cast director. He's like, oh, I've always wanted to be an actor. And I'm like,
no.
dude, worry first, and we'll talk about that when I wake up. But, like, first, put me to sleep and make sure I do wake up. And then, like, but it's really funny, actually, because we work with this company called Havas Edge, and they do all the infomercials. So we always do have to cast real doctors who couldn't think. So I was like, oh, wait, that anesthesiologist that I
That is
he wanted
so
to be a
interesting.
doctor.
Does that happen sometimes? You'll end up meeting people and then you'll cast them?
A
because-
Disney job that was a really good Disney job we did. I booked my 2 neighbors on, these little kids that loved to come.
cute.
They would come to my door all the time and like, can Jack come out, my dog? And I would let them play with my dog. And they were brother and sister, and they're so adorable.
That's so
and
sweet.
Disney's like, we don't want to see the typical kids we see all the time. And I was like, I know the cutest kids. And I booked my neighbors. The mom couldn't believe it. She was like, what's an audition? So I like helped her do everything and sign in. And I didn't push them at all.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
just that
That is
cute.
so
And they booked a Disney
sweet.
Yeah,
commercial.
cute
6
and cute.
and 9 years old.
Oh my
Cameron
God.
and
You
Jaden,
get
yes.
cast by. Okay, when you have that on your resume,
Yeah.
that Lisa Pantone and Gigi cast you in something, that's gold.
Yeah.
Because now other casting directors
Thank
see
you.
that. It's
And they
just,
respect your guys' opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's, I mean, but taking a risk on somebody without a lot of credits, having that first risk, you know, it's a lot on the line for you and your reputation.
And
so
we have done
We see,
that.
I know, that's what I
Like
say.
with
We see
Jaimin,
people
with
all the time
lot
that,
of
like,
people.
we'll just,
Yeah.
I'll see somebody who has a really cool look, or that I think she goes to, you know, a lot of casting directors, I don't know what. Some casting directors don't go to all the showcases and then this and that. She goes to plays,
You
she
do,
goes to
don't you?
all the showcases, she goes this. I'm more like, I watch all the YouTube and I'm like, this person needs their own show. When Grace Helwig has got her own show,
Yes.
I was not
Didn't you just
surprised.
talk to her?
I did.
Yeah, you just
She's at the
interviewed her,
NBC
yeah.
event,
I was not surprised because her show was really cute and she was really fun. So like you can see when you can see talent, whether it's in
she's
a play or
amazing.
whatever, you get it.
I have an eye too. I said she's like the next Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, she was great.
She is 1 in a million. That
Yeah.
girl. She's incredible.
And I do she doesn't do them, but I do a lot of reality shows. So I'll meet people and I'll be like, they're amazing. Like,
Oh, so you
Yeah.
do a lot of work separately then too, or?
yes, not a lot, but we work separately. Like I'm really into reality just because.
so my
yeah.
I want.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
grew up watching The Real World
Yeah.
or whatever. So like
Yeah.
and I meet people and you know people always like, oh, you need a reality show, but like these 2 twins I met, for instance, they wore the same clothes every day. They are multimillionaires. They live in a big house, but they sleep in the same bedroom. And they shared a boyfriend, and I was like, okay, now if
Okay.
anybody
They shared a
needs-
boyfriend?
If anybody needs a show, they did. So I shot a little, casting tape with them, sent it to a few production companies. Every company was like, yes, 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 and then got them signed. So then I'm just a casting producer. Same job,
yeah.
different title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing title. That's awesome. Do you
No
have a production
judgment.
company as well?
I work. Yes.
Okay,
I
you do. Okay,
I was just
cool.
going to say,
Yes.
Cool.
I've been doing that. Reality casting has been going pretty well for me.
Now, how long have you girls been doing the show? I'm gonna take over.
Oh my goodness!
You want to interview us?
Yes.
Let me get comfortable.
Yes, both of you are just delightful and
my
pretty
gosh.
as could be.
That it's
I'm
like
not
10
crying.
times
I know.
more of a compliment when it comes from you guys.
They don't care at home. We'll tell you off air about
Oh my
us.
god!
We'll
Yeah,
tell
it's
you all
like
about us.
no. I mean, we love this. We love Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro created
executive
AfterBuzz,
producers, yes.
and they gave a lot of people opportunities to
Nice.
they took risks on people too in a sense,
And to share their stories, which is
Yeah.
really important. I mean, people are going to watch this and they're going to learn a lot about what to do when they come and audition, which is an amazing thing that you guys can do for people. So
Yeah, I
thank
would
you
say
so
the
much.
easiest thing, if I could hammer it home, is be on time. Don't say silly things. Like, we have somebody, we were doing McDonald's, and all the McDonald's clients, and they're very, like, straight-laced, button up. This guy's like, oh, McDonald's, I could go for that right now. I'm so hungover.
No, it's so ridiculous.
Yes.
Come on.
But you'd be surprised. Like, stuff like that happens every single day.
He was just trying to probably relax
He was trying to be
himself.
really
Yeah.
cute and funny, but like it's their product, and it's a commercial's budget are like well over $1 million. So they're like, oh my god, do we want to have a guy in our commercial? We're spending $1 million that's going out drinking. Also, clean up your social media a bit because people do Google.
Yes.
People Google. So, like, if there's a callback list and there's 3 or 4 girls and they're like, oh, we don't really know who to book, the director and the client will go through and they will put your name in. And if the last thing
Yes.
is, like, we've seen, this is horrible to say, there's a guy, and I'm not going to say his name, obviously,
No.
but he was a porn star. He can't be
Which
in a
I did
Procter
not
& Gamble
know.
commercial if you've done porn.
Right.
So at least change your name, bro, or like do
Yeah.
something different, like something.
And
Dye
I
your
did
hair,
not know,
change your
and I
name.
booked
Yeah.
him.
No, you didn't know. Of course.
No, did not
No, we did not
know.
book him because I outed him. I was
You
like,
are so
hello.
funny. You are like the spy,
I
like
was-
the
I was like,
online
you can't-
spy. Like you're like doing
Yeah,
background
you
checks
can't.
on
You
people.
can't sell Campbell's soup and
No.
simultaneously do
No,
porn. Like,
no.
I mean, you could, but I still think Campbell's will appreciate it.
even commercials. I mean, the amount of money that you can make, even doing extra work in commercials.
Yeah.
It,
I said extras, I
it
think, like
blows my mind.
$3.75 a
I'm
day.
like people. So many people
crazy.
I know that
I
make
booked-
that every 2
I booked
weeks.
a little boy, Manny Lachey, in Florida when I was down there casting Miami Vice, taking over a couple shows down there with Bonnie up in New York. I was doing that Wonder Bread commercial, the white bread,
Yeah.
and this kid was so cute, Manny Lachey, he booked it. 3 years later,
This
I'm not
story's like
here.
30 years old, by the way. That she remembers
30
these people's names
Yeah,
is amazing.
3 years later, the grandmother, because his parents died in an automobile accident, so the grandmother was raising him and a little girl. She called, she said, oh my goodness, Lisa, it's still on the air. It was on, it played off and on for about 6 years. He made enough money to send himself and his sister to
See, I'd
college.
cut you a check if that were
Oh
me.
my God.
I would just feel
And,
unnecessary to cut you a check. It's probably illegal, but I'd be like,
every time I book somebody, I really ask Gigi. I'm very emotional.
Yeah.
Italians are very emotional.
Yeah.
I just get so delighted
that's why you're so good at this.
when somebody books, especially film. This little girl, and I'll tell you the story about this, and everybody knows it. I put this out. She had to be able to go underwater because there's one scene where she falls in the L.A. lake. LA River. Then she had to be able to cry. Her mother was, you have to see the movie. It's pretty, yeah. I searched everywhere for this girl, and there were some girls that came really close, to it. I got a call from the mother, not the, I can't say who, not the manager, big management firm, the mother. Lisa, I know that you're doing this. Please, you've got to see Gianna. She's this, she's that. She came in.
You let her in from the mother calling?
Yes, because the mother said, Lisa, she's young, but she loves the water. She wants to be junior life, blah, blah, blah. She's a strong actress. And I was like, oh, for sure, So she came in with a little rag doll. And she looked at me in the director. She said, could I sit on the floor and do the scene? I'm like, okay, sweetheart. She
Like 7 years old.
She got this baby doll and was talking to the baby doll like it was the mother, because one scene the mother is, doing drugs or whatever, and she's holding her. And the director pinches my leg so hard, I always tease him. I'm like, holy crap, I still have a bruise on my thigh. And he said, are those tears? I swear to God, are those tears? And I look, and she was crying as she was doing the scene. I'm like, oh. So
I'm
we're all
goosebumps on that.
crying. And then when she was done, I get up and I pick her up and I hug her, and I'm like, the scene is done, and you did fabulous. And he yells out, can you swim? Because he's thinking Heidi's going to shoot.
Wow.
So before she walked out of the room, he looked at me and said, book her now. And I went out, booked the thing. Then I called the manager. And I said, hey, you have this little girl, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, thanks for sending her, because I just booked her because the mother
called.
And then does she still make a percentage off of that?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it is a business thing. But this child, and that's the one that just
you can watch it. I think it's called Catching Fireflies.
Wow.
It's only a
I gotta look
19
at
or
that.
21
It's a 19-minute
minute
short film.
but it's
the
one
same
in London,
person.
it's one everywhere, including here. But that's the thing when you were saying, well, do you ever take a chance on a new person? I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because every now and then you discover a Leonardo DiCaprio, when it was his brother who came in for a casting. And here I said, come on, you come in for it too, and the rest is history. You have to take a
I know. Did you see that?
I'm like literally dripping
You
in,
do
like,
have to
sweat
take
right now.
a
I can't
chance
believe you
on
just said
new
that.
people. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we also did this movie for the Weinstein Company
Yes.
called Operation Barnyard Owl.
Yeah.
And they wanted this crazy, handsome, it's Lexus. It was really actually the coolest thing. It's Lexus Short Films pays the Weinstein Company, and Lexus do for this young
The films.
directors.
Right, we were watching them on your website.
Yeah, so the lead guy at Operation Barnyard, he's this gorgeous guy. Well, he
Right.
did such an amazing job. So we had actors that were like working actors and on Arrow and on this show and that show. And that kid didn't really, I mean, he didn't have a ton of stuff on his resume. He was like little guest stars here and there. And after he was done shooting, he had gotten a call, and he called us and told us from Harvey and, you know, the Weinstein, like, people, and they're like, you're the next leading man. Like, so, you know, we had all these actors who did all this stuff, and this guy was just, and couldn't be nicer. It was such a good actor. And, like,
amazing.
seriously, watch the movie, so handsome. You know what I mean? He was like, he was perfect.
Yeah, a 10 across
Yeah, so
the
you
board.
do. I
That's
you know, I
amazing.
must tell you, I do take chance with new people, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
You know,
You have to find them somewhere.
You
yeah.
have you have such an eye, though.
Yeah.
It's such a gift.
Thank
it really
you.
is a gift, and you have your heart and soul into everything you do, and that's why you succeed at it. It's not like a job you leave at 6 o'clock and you don't want to think about it at
Oh,
all.
gosh.
It's
No,
just
that's
not
our-
like
wish.
that's your life.
That's
It's actually your life.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the battle we have. Is that,
Yes.
like, she'll call at 9:30 p.m. So blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, it's not work time anymore. Like, Simon, my husband, is gonna kill you if you call this house one more time. You're gonna be in trouble. Or it's 7 a.m. and we're walking the dog, and then I call and I'm like, wait, did you make sure you did this? So it does actually. It never ends. It's on Sunday. It was. On the way here, we're talking about the job that we have something to cast Thursday, a different job to cast on Fridays with callbacks on Monday, you know. So we're constantly going over our schedules and the breakdowns, and it's all day, every day.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You guys are just on fire right now. You're going to continue
still
to be
feel
on
like I'm
fire.
tearing up based on the
yeah.
people's lives that you guys
we
have
could sit
changed.
with you for the next like 40,000 years and talk to you and
thank
pick your brains.
you.
Roxy, I know you have a million questions,
Yes.
but do you have any other ones that you wanted to ask right now?
No, I mean, I guess I just wanted to know what your guys' absolute favorite projects in general, like type-wise, to work on. Is yours reality and yours are these indies, or what would be?
You know, commercials happen quick and fast, and each one, to me, like I said, is a little story. So I'm absorbing, you know, stories and visually seeing what the writer and director is saying. But I love working with the Inkwell Theater Group. It's Elliot Shulman, who's the showrunner for many important
Yes.
shows. So I do all their theater. I'm blessed by working with them. Indie films, like I said, you know, to get a call from the Weinstein, say, Lisa, we got 2 ready to go. I mean, you know, I get really emotionally touched that people recognize hard work.
Right.
So I would say indie films, you know, they want a can, they want to, you know.
You like people with chops. You like people who have talent to book
Yes,
people.
yes, and indie films allows you, like Gigi said, to explore people that you may not be familiar with.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And I like doing the comedies. We did a show on VH1 for 2 seasons. That was like it was actually the best casting experience because there was
That
no
was
lines on the show. It'd be like a
fabulous.
Larry David. It was called Free Radio.
Oh,
and so
Free
basically,
Radio.
that was
my favorite
with,
show
It's
ever.
Always Sunny in
Lance,
Philadelphia.
yeah.
character.
So Lance
Well,
Paul-
Larry David's my favorite of all time.
So it's like on the
Curb
casting, we would just
Enthusiasm.
give them like a 2-sentence, like, okay, so your
It's
prerogative
fabulous.
is to come in here and really piss Lance off. Go. And then these are really great, funny, like Second City, you know, sketch comedy actors who come and just do like crazy
Keith
stuff.
Sutherland, that was
And we
funny.
like every
Oh my
casting, so
God.
every single actor that came in, it would always be different, always be so funny. So I love comedy. I like funny
Absolutely.
people.
That's why you
Yes.
guys work well
Guys,
together. Amazing.
absolutely. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Where can people find more information about you online? Is it
You can go on to lisapantone.com. I know she has a Facebook. LP has a Facebook. I have no idea. Do you know what
LP
it is?
has a Facebook, and there's like 5,000 people in it, and I know
God.
maybe about 20 of them.
Okay.
So what I do once a month is I actually write a nice note, and I go, "Hi everyone. I know now that you all know that I do not check this, So if it's really important, please email me.
email us.
But I hope
email
you're
her
all
on the
doing
website.
good. I write a note once a month on Facebook.
I love that.
At least you care enough to do that. You
Yes, I do.
schedule.
Oh my God. LinkedIn, I don't even know the thousands of people.
No,
I'm like,
yeah, that's.
But
Email,
I think
because she does
email.
check her email
I do, of
nonstop.
course.
We got her all hooked up. Galaxy S6.
Oh, nice.
She's the jam. So if you email her, she will email you.
And the email is lisapantone@gmail.com.
Yes, nice and
Simple
easy.
I don't know if you wanted to do that.
I was
but
gonna
go for it.
say, you're pretty high up to just throw your email out there.
Cool beans.
Oh no!
All right, well, people know where to find you though.
Do not just email her.
Don't give out your address and phone number.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
stop you
So
before we get
funny.
too
I
far.
can't. Oh my God, that's amazing.
She just wants to help.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
I really
That's
appreciate
super
it.
fun.
Roxy, where can people find you?
You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar, and now on Periscope. We're obsessed with it.
Periscope.
You can
yeah.
find me there at Roxy Striar as well.
And you can find me at Ashley Daniels on Twitter and Miss Ashley Daniels on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching another Spotlight On, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.